Hello, Clemson fans and Gamecock fans too. We're just going to take a minute, close our eyes, breathe in, and breathe out. Light a virtual candle and burn some virtual incense. And just know that it's okay. We are all going to be just fine. definitely like to share some words of wisdom during this moment of Zen for the Tiger fans and the Gamecock fans after this weekend. And those are: you're good enough and you're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you. Okay, that's enough of that. That's about as much of that as I can stand. But it could have been helpful to some folks. Hopefully it was. And now it'll be recorded forever. You can go back and watch about 5 or 6 minutes of some therapy for the Clemson fan and the Gamecock fans. And I was trying to kill some time to let my co-host Bailey Jackson get on here with me. But I just want to, we can go ahead and start with the intro here. So we're here with a midweek Fun Fans show. As we've been stating, we're going to start doing a show on Wednesday during football season. And can be a little hectic for my boy Bailey Jackson. Some of you may know he is an athletic director at like the 5th largest high school in South Carolina. So he works a lot of second shift. So hopefully he's getting on. He just texted me a second ago. But we definitely started with a little bit of therapy there. And if all of the Clemson fans and Gamecock fans definitely needed that. It was kind of soothing, just to be honest with you. And it was pretty neat. So we're doing this midweek show. We're going to start Sundays at 5:30. Probably start this show. Just go ahead and bump this show till like 8:30 or 9 o'clock on Wednesday. And yeah, we're just going to get after it. So speaking of the man, the myth, the legend, my co-host, Bailey Jackson. How you doing, B?
I'm good. Sorry I'm a little late, having some technical difficulties, and had to work.
Yeah. Busy man. So you can be one of those that go back and watch our moment of Zen. You missed we had about a 5-minute therapy session, and honestly, it was, like I said, and I told everybody already, it was actually, you want to get just a little sample?
Sure. Am I doing it or are you doing it?
No, you just have to sit back and relax and enjoy the moment. And the famous quote that you're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you.
Okay, thank you.
I thought that was funny.
Hey, tough weekend for the Palmetto State, but we're going to leave it at that. I'm assuming that's why we had some therapy.
Yeah, that was
fun. I told somebody today that I enjoyed the game about as much as I did my 50-year-old physical last week.
So,
right. Yeah, a game of missed opportunities. Let's put it like that.
Well, yeah, my recap and you were there. So, and I remember I texted you, how is it as hot as it looked? It looked like our players, I don't know why the Duke players, maybe it was a bias. It looked like our guys were just hot and tired and sweaty, like before we really got into the first quarter.
So it was as hot as I've ever been at a nighttime football game. All right. Right. Tom Luganbill was the sideline reporter, and I looked down at him, and he was in a shirt and tie, and his light blue shirt was dark blue because it was wet.
It was done.
And it was hot. But look, man, just real quick. Hey, congratulations, Duke. They were as big and physical as Clemson up front, and they made the plays, and Clemson didn't. So that's how you go. That's how it goes. And the sun came up the next day, and it's a long season. If you're going to lose one, the first one seems to be, given the recent history of the football playoffs. And we shouldn't even really think about the playoffs. We should think about, Charleston Southern, Florida Atlantic, and then Florida State, who looked really good this past weekend. So there we go.
Well, I'll just my 2 cents is obviously disappointed, just like every other fan. It was hard to watch. they just seem like they showed up ill prepared. Whatever the reason was, is what it is. Reminded me of last year's Notre Dame game. But like you said, if you look back at last year, we were conference champion. We laid an egg at Notre Dame, like we laid an egg at Duke, and we still finished the season with an upset that kept us out of the playoffs, probably against South Carolina, but winning the conference and going to a New Year's Six bowl, blah, blah, blah. So
that's still there.
It's still right in front of us. And so let me ask one question. Speaking of, the future, does not having divisions, like you said, lose, if you're going to lose the first game, is definitely the one to lose, especially if it's against another conference or any other Power 5 opponent. What does not having divisions this year? I think that's beneficial.
Absolutely, it is. Now you eliminated any wiggle room probably, but you never know. I mean, you could end up. I mean, as far as the conference goes, you could have teams beat each other because honestly, I think Duke's pretty good. I think Florida State's really good, and I think North Carolina's pretty doggone good. All right, and there's some other teams out there. We have trouble at State and we have trouble at Syracuse, and we have to play them on the road. And then there's Miami is a road game also.
Yeah, somebody will give Duke a loss, hopefully too. It's still up to us to get into the ACC championship game, in my opinion, because you don't have to finish first, you just have to finish second,
right,
to get into that game. So, all right, so you got anything else?
No, that's enough.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, once again, Duke fans, get out there and watch them play. It was disappointing to see the stadium not full because the Duke fans weren't there. The student section of Duke did a great job.
We talked about that on our show on Sunday with stadiums that weren't full, and it's hot and people have things to do. Even the quarterback had an assignment apparently that he wasn't prepared to turn in. Bless his heart. But
he's a good player.
Oh,
I was impressed.
He's a baller, and they are. I mean, they had 9 wins last year. They'll probably have 8 or 9 wins, maybe 10 this year.
They're good. They're pretty good. But look, okay, let's move on because Clemson should not lose at Duke. And honestly, if they punch it in the 3 times they were inside the 3 or 4 yard line with first downs, if they punch it in, that game is a 2-touchdown Clemson win. But it's not. It didn't happen that way.
That's right. Ifs and buts.
All right, Christmas every day.
On to the future. So what games besides the Clemson game, as far as the tailgating, that we're looking forward to? Any other games we're looking forward to this weekend? What's a good matchup?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really know.
I know the big touted, obviously the big game is Alabama, Texas.
Right.
So you got any 2 cents worth on Alabama, Texas?
Is it Texas at Alabama? That's where they're playing, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck, Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I mean, and
Alabama's. We talked about quarterback play a little bit Sunday, and we didn't talk about Alabama's quarterback. He's pretty good as well.
Yeah. So you got. I'm curious to see Colorado play again.
Yes.
They're home against Nebraska, so it's prime times, first home game. Notre Dame at NC State.
That's kind of big.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see
for us, for ACC common opponents.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not very many. I mean, the press is all going to be about Colorado and the big game that night.
Yeah, in Alabama.
App State and North Carolina, I'm curious to see what App State can do. They always play North Carolina tough, so we'll see.
Yeah, Coach brought them up after their game Saturday. So, all right, so that's what we're looking forward to. It's going to be, they're going to be some good games. It'll be interesting to see. And remember, you heard it here first, fans. Let's play 3 games before we get too crazy about any team being really, really good or really, really bad or really, really mediocre. So, and that's Clemson otherwise. Hey, some teams have 2 under their belt. So this weekend they'll have that 3rd one, but it takes 3 to get started. And I'm about done with anything in this 99-degree weather.
Okay.
All right. So the last thing on this super quick midweek show is our tailgating menu, because that's what's important. The hat posted from his trip to the game at Duke pictures of all these people I ran into, including a picture of you. And I'm like, that's what it's all about. The Duke fans had a great time. Hopefully the Clemson fans had a good time before. That's why you got to have a good time before the game, because we don't have any control over what happens at the game. So we're going to show up and show out about 4 hours before kickoff, right?
We're having a sub platter and maybe a wrap platter from Publix. So that we're providing that for the tailgate.
There you go.
My crew will handle that, and everyone else can just bring add-ons to that menu.
All right, so bring some add-ons. We're on Centennial Extension. If you're listening to this show, everybody's welcome. Look for the Fun Fan banner, and it's gonna be a good time. We are usually at least arriving, if not set up and ready to go, 4 hours before kickoff. So 10:15, it'll be go time on Centennial Extension in Clemson. So
lunch buffet between 11:30 and 12:30. I will say this. I said, "Hey, Hat, how you doing?" He said, "Bailey, what's up, buddy?"
Yeah.
James said you were going to be here, and I said, "Man, this guy's seen me just through a computer screen."
Yeah.
So
he knows.
We talked for a minute, and moving on.
Hey, Dean's a good guy. He knows people, and that's why everybody likes him. That's why everybody loves him.
Well, four people stopped and talked to him while I was when I saw him. I was trying to get to him, and like 4 people stopped. So anyway,
there you go.
He's kind of a big deal.
That's what it's all about. And if I have to tell Hat to swing by on his way into the stadium, because he's out there in the RV parking, but he might come on up a little bit, or maybe at halftime or something. So anywho, we'll be there. Looking forward to it. Going to have plenty of guests at the tailgate. Hopefully the folks parking beside us we won't bother them too much. I'm going to say this out loud so I don't forget. Bug spray. Got to always start the season with the bug spray to make sure the spot is ready to go.
I got some stuff better than that I'm bringing.
You bring it.
It is sprinkle it.
Well, and here I'm going to give a hint to the surprise, because I need you to bring one other thing. Do you have like an electric pump?
You got a mister?
No.
Oh, that would be great. An electric pump. We'll discuss after the show's over. I don't know.
There may or may not be items that need inflating when we get there. So anyway.
Well, I'm not blowing it up. I can promise you that.
All right. It's going to be a great time. We appreciate everybody joining us. Hopefully they got a little bit of therapy. If you missed the therapy, just go back to the beginning of the show. It's really worth it. Stop arguing and stuff about nobody's jumping on or off of a bandwagon. People, calm down. And
yes, I am a Clemson fan. I don't care how many games they win. I support the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's just because I might complain about something or say that the game was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. It
was. Well, think about it being 100% humidity and about 92 degrees with people on top of people.
I had some nice wings in front of me at Rubens, but
and I want to tell the guy in the Trevor Lawrence jersey sitting 32 rows from the field that no matter how loud you yell at the coaches and the players, they cannot hear you. Nor are they listening to you.
Oh, it's on. We're coming. Look for the Fun Fans in not only Park Centennial Extension. We're in what's our section we sit in? J.
Yes.
J.
One of the two right there.
We're over there.
They're very close to each other in the alphabet.
Home side. So if you see some old guys doing the gritty, that's me and
Not
Bailey.
Me.
All right, fans. Thanks for joining us. Check us out each and every week. Click subscribe on the Fun Fans Podcast YouTube channel, as well as your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on social media and share, please. All links mentioned and archive shows can be found at the Fanboys site at thefanboys.com. Links will also be posted on Facebook and Twitter. On behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thrill Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, Rubens Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering, Diamond Edge Products, and Bailey Jackson.
That's right. That's me. Go
Thanks
Tigers.
for listening, and go Tigers.